Have you ever heard the term shape system in regards to Davinci Resolve? Well, this logo was created by my graphic designer, and this one I recreated in the shape system in the Fusion page of Davinci Resolve. So welcome back to Creative Reality, my friend. Today, I'm going to teach you the basics of the shape system in Davinci Resolve. And I find the best way to learn how to do something is to A, try it, but B, try to replicate something that already exists. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to recreate that logo, and at the end, I'm going to show you a reasonable facsimile of the Davinci Resolve logo that I made in the shape system. So let's dive into Davinci Resolve and I'll show you what we're working with. Here we have a blank timeline. We're going to go up to Effects. If you don't see it, click Effects. We're going to drag on a Fusion composition. We're going to click on it and click the Fusion icon, and that brings us into the Fusion page. We're going to move our media out one way over because we need a lot of nodes. And if you see me looking down, it's because I've got my notes up because it can get kind of complicated. Anyway, the first thing we need to start with is a shape. So let's add one. We're going to click in empty space so nothing is selected. Press Shift Spacebar and type in S. And you see SB spline. And there's a bunch in here. There's a bunch of different shapes. We've got S ellipse and an S grid and some other S things. But what we need first is an SNGon. So I'm going to add one. And there it is. If I press the 1 key with that selected, it shows up in our left-hand viewer, and it's a hexagon. Well, you saw the original logo, right? If not, let me remind you, we'll click on the media pool, and I'll drag in my other logo, and we'll press the 2 key, and there, it shows up there. So this is what we're going to recreate, but we're going to make a change. If you look over here, I've got my truck. Yeah, I did a cutout with Magic Mask. I did a tutorial over here. And so if you've got a vehicle picture at home, you can use that to follow along if you want. But we've got this. We'll just leave it off to the side. We don't really need that for this. Actually, we'll put it over here. Out of the way. All right, so we've got our hexagon, but it's not the right angle. You know, the point isn't at the top. So we're going to double click on angle, type in 90, and then we're going to bring our border width up a little bit to give it that round edge. But as you notice, it's cutting it off here. So we're going to drag height or width down, but it's not scaling right. So we're going to right click on height, choose expression, come in here and type in width, press enter. And now when we drag it around, it scales properly. Pretty cool, right? The next step is to come to style and choose black as our color because this is going to be in the background. And then we are good to go there. So we want to select SNGon 1, press Control C to copy, press Control Shift V to paste an instance, which also creates a merge. And now we want to click on instance SNGon 1, press our 1 key so it's in the left viewer. We're going to come over to style first and we're going to right click on red. We're going to choose de-instance color group, which allows us to change this now to white. So for now, we'll hold shift and we'll disconnect our merge. We'll need it later, but we have SNGon 1. We're going to put that in the left viewer and we'll put our white one in the right viewer. We need to transform these. So with SNGon 1 selected, shift spacebar and S transform. There we go. And we also need one for the other SNGon. So we'll add that in. And for this transform, this is our white one. We want it to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to right click on Y size, come down to expression, change that to X size, and now it'll scale. And then we'll drag this down a little bit. Now we can go into the merge like so. And then when we press 1 here, you see we've got it. There it is. So we're going to bring our size back up a little bit because we want it to be just a thin border. And we'll go ahead and bring our reference material back in the left-hand side, or in the right-hand side rather. And yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Well, the next step after you've created a shape and you've merged your multiple shapes together is we need to render it out into something that the rest of Fusion can handle. So with sMerge 1 selected, we'll press Shift Spacebar and we will type sRender. There it is. And we can connect this to our media out. Ta-da! Now media out, we'll press the 1 key and that's what our media looks like, right? Well, there's a few things missing. So we'll lasso select these and move them over. We need a vehicle. So I'll drag my vehicle in at this time. And we want this to be above the text. So we will connect that in a little bit. We need text. So let's bring a text plus node in and we're going to type in the name like this. And it's on 2 different lines and we'll change the font to impact. And then, yeah, we need to connect that up so we can see it. So we'll drag the output of text 1 to the output of sRender 1, drop it. It's not there, right? You didn't see it? It's because our text is white. Let's make it black. There it is. We need our line spacing to come down a little bit. We need our layout. So let's go to layout and we'll drag it up a little bit. We can go to transform, and there's not much we want to do there yet, but we want these two lines to be different sizes. So we need to right click in the text and choose character level styling. That opens up the modifiers tab here. And then when we select letters like reality here, we can then drag the size up to where it's the right width. And then we want to select road. Just make sure you have just the 4 letters, right? And then we'll drag that up a little bit, make that bigger. Then we have to come back to tools and our text. We really need to stretch this, but we need to move it. So let's come back to the layout and we'll drag it down until it's right there in the middle. But what we really want to do is stretch this out. So we need to come into transform and we need to come down to size and change our Y so it's a little bit taller. See how that works? Just a little bit taller there. Now it's overlapping each other, and it's kind of a fine-tuning thing, right? Line spacing, we want to bring back up. Layout, we want to bring it back down. That looks pretty good right there. Then we need to come to shading, come to our number 3, and enable the black shadow. Well, that's really dark. You can change the opacity here, or you can change the softness, glow, and blend. I'm just going to choose opacity and bring it down. But then I want my position offset to be a little bit different. So we're going to be closer there and closer there. So it's just a little bit of a shadow. Now we need our vehicle. If I press the 1 key, it comes up here, it's cut out. And I'll show you at the end of this video how to save a PNG with alpha or transparency. So I'm going to drag from the output of media in 2 to the output of merge 1, and that's going to add our truck on there. So what we need to do is select media out 1 and press 1, and you can see it's not in the right place. Well, we're going to transform that in a minute. But first, here's a hidden tool in Davinci Resolve, hidden, but it's in the Fusion page. Check this out. Come into your effects, and you've got tools, templates, and LUTs. We're going to click on templates, click on the magnifying glass, and type in poster. And that's how I think this was done for this motorcycle. We're going to drag the posterize in, and see the line turns blue. We'll drop it in. It looks really funny, and it screws a lot of things up. Don't worry, we're going to fix that shortly. But first, we're going to change our smoothness. We're going to bring that down quite a bit, right about to there. So 2.4, and you can get even finer control right about there. Okay, so 1.4. And for our steps, we're going to drag that all the way up to about 8. That's pretty good. And we know that this vehicle has a drop shadow. So with posterize 1 selected, we'll press shift spacebar and we'll type in drop shadow. Drop, there it is. Add it on. That's good. And then we'll lasso select these 3 and drag them up because we need room for 1 more. With drop shadow 1 selected, we're going to press shift spacebar once more and type in transform. And it's going to allow us to move this around. So the size, we'll bring it down so that the width is just past the edge of our border that we made. And then we'll drag the center down so it's just overwriting the text. And if I zoom in, you can see it's got some funny business going on. Well, we can drag the output of transform 1 into the blue mask input of merge 2, and voila, most of that goes away. And it just kind of keeps a blur on our shadow a little bit. I don't think anybody's going to notice. We'll come up here and fit. We need that text at the bottom. So what we're going to do is drag in another text node and EST 2020, change it to impact, and we'll press our 1 key to make sure it looks right. We'll change the color to black, and then we'll change our Y, so transform. Our size, we're going to bring the Y up a little bit, and then we can add this in. So we'll lasso select everything, move it over, move this over, and then we'll drag from the output of text 2 to our merge 1 output. It creates merge 3, and then we're going to press media out 1. We're going to press our 1 key. We need to move our text around, so we'll come to layout, drag it down. It's too big, so we'll go to text and we'll drag the size down a little bit, and then we can bring it back up in the layout, and we come over to shading, and again we'll enable our black shadow, and we're going to control mouse wheel to zoom in. We don't need that much opacity. We can just go like that, bring it down a little bit to match. There we go. Let's come up to fit, and voila. All right, as promised, it's now time to save this fresh new logo as a PNG with the alpha transparency so we can reuse it in another video. So I've got my Fusion composition selected here. I'm at the beginning of it. Notice I've got snapping turned on, right? So we're at the beginning of our clip. We're going to press the I key on the keyboard. It creates this gray bar. I'm going to press the right arrow to go one frame over. I'm going to press the O key, not the 0 key, but the O key on the keyboard. And if I alt mouse wheel to zoom in, you can see I've got a short gray bar. That's the in and out points. So now I'm going to go to my deliver page, click the rocket ship icon, and I'm going to select my favorite preset. If you don't have presets, you can make them. Follow this tutorial now. See, I'm being helpful. Boop the like button. Show me you care. All we have to do is change QuickTime to PNG and then check export alpha. And then compression level, I set it to 1, you can set it to 0. I do believe the lower the number, the less compression is applied, so the higher the quality of the exported image will be. Then I'm going to give it a name, we'll call it Truck Reality, click Add to Render Queue, and render all. Boom, done. That was fast. Whee! Now I'm going to come back here, hold Alt and press X, that clears our in and out points. And then I'm going to alt mouse wheel to zoom out, and I'm going to go over to blank space, and I'll drag one in, and there it is. There's our logo. And you can do things like go to effects and type in drop into, I don't know, where is it? Filters? There it is, filters. Drag a drop shadow on it. Boom, we have a drop shadow logo. We can come in here, make it a little bit smaller, reposition it, put it over top of footage, and there you have it. So now we've just about replicated that logo using the shape system and a few other nodes. So you didn't just learn about the shape system, but let's go learn more about the shape system by taking a look at what I did to sort of recreate the Davinci Resolve logo. So now we've got our logo here. This is what I made, and I'll bring it up on screen right here. That's what the Davinci Resolve logo looks like. So mine is close, but it all starts with this B-spline 1. And if I come up here and fit, you can see that it is this teardrop shape, and that comes into a transform that when I press the 1 key, moves it up. And the trick of this one is going to be the S duplicate, which takes our original teardrop shape and duplicates it, creates 2 copies. If I drag this around, you can see that those copies disappear. And I've done an X and a Y offset and a Z rotation of 121 degrees. I guess I can go to 120, but whatever works, right? You know, it does this weird stuff. This is all something to play around with and see what works and see what doesn't. By showing it in the viewers, you can really get a clean sense of what each parameter does as you change it. And then we've got some other things going on. So we've got another shape. It's a square, but it's got rounded corners, and it's got an instance that is going to be the same, right? Except when they come into the transform, this one's really big. So I'll control mouse wheel. It covers almost the entire frame. This one covers a little bit less. They both get rendered and they both get passed through a background. All the instances of the background have this color, this 4-color gradient. And you can see it's a 4-corner, and I've set all the corners up pretty much the same, except when I come into this one, it's black because I've de-instanced the color here, right? And then this one still has the 4 colors. So what we have is the original, the outline right here, okay? And then this one right here is going to be the black inset. And then this one is going to be our shapes. You'll notice it's 2000 by 2000, whereas these don't have anything at all. They're just shapes. So our sRender is rendering it at 2000 by 2000. So when you come into the sRender, that's what gives it the size that fits our background so that the colors all work. And then it all goes through a multi-merge control. If you click an empty space, shift space bar, type in multi, you get a bunch of selections here. We have multi-merge, click add, and you can just drag the outputs of almost anything into this multi-merge. It's just that simple. We'll backspace to get rid of that. And then it goes through another transform that brings it down a little bit in size, and it goes into the glow. Now this glow node adds a glow to everything, and if I disconnect this, the glow is acting on everything, including the outside. You'll see if I control mouse wheel zoom in, there's a blue glow here. But if I control Z to undo that, the blue glow is kept inside the bounds of this box. and then I added a drop shadow, and then media out. And if we come back to fit, there's my version of the logo, and I will superimpose their version over on the left viewer. So there you have it. We went in and we recreated a logo using the shape system and a bunch of other fancy nodes. We looked at the Davinci Resolve recreation logo, which built upon that for the shape system, and we exported a PNG with alpha. So you can now go forth and conquer. You can make your own logos in Resolve, even if you're not a graphic designer. How cool is that? Is that worth a like? Is that worth a subscribe? Anyway, I do thank you for your time. If you have questions, as always, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to see me cover something else in Resolve, subscribe and ask about whatever that thing is, also in the comments below. Until next time, go check out this video, and I'll see you there. John out.